Hello and welcome, this is Synoptic and I'm pretty jacked up on caffeine, so let's go! Yeah! This is a 2v2 ranked battle on Oboki Gorge. Now our opponents aren't necessarily in a clan, but they are working together. They appear to know each other. They do act in coordination. I'll refer to them as Maroon and Black. Me and Blanca's flags are both in black. Mine is in a white border, whereas Blanca's has an orange. We're taking pretty standard armies, not necessarily rush armies, but in this battle, the opponents kind of force the rush onto themselves. Maroon wants to take the middle in some sort of defensive holding tactic, whereas his ally is going to try and flank right very hard, and what I'm assuming is going to have them both attack Blanca's and neglect me. In doing this, Maroon gets too close to me and Blanca's army, and we will both attack him head on. Blanca's will hit from the front with about a third of his army, whereas I will hit with all my cavalry and most of my army. On the left side of our opponent's side is just a basic cavalry pool, where I just feign an attack, and whenever someone sees cavalry run at them, they'll attack right back to get their charge bonus. If you leave it for a bit too long, then you'll run right into matchlocks, losing the whole unit. So I don't lose anything, he loses everything. And that also opens up that right flank for all my cavalry to run through. This is going to coincide with Blanca's fight in the frontal charge. He has 2 Yari Ashigari units to absorb all the ranged fire. Now, Maroon's army is suited for defense. He has 4 bow monks. As you can see, a lot of his Yari Ashigaru are dying. I'm going to send a katana directly into the right side of the main army, and I'm going to charge a Yari cavalry directly into a katana cav, which he wouldn't have seen. Now, the katana cav that I send into the right flank is then hit by 2 Great Guard units. Blanca's has matchlock units awaiting fire. This is a monk gun unit, and he uses extended range to shoot directly into the Great Guard. Now that I've killed that katana cav on the right flank, I can then swing behind, and as my cavalry gets in the rear, Blanca's then sends 3 of his Lone Sword Ashigari units to fight in the front, couple that with his matchlock fire. Maroon acts accordingly, sends his bow monks to the rear for protection, which are then caught by my cavalry units. As this happens, he loses his general as well, most likely due to the barrage of stray bullets from the matchlock units. So why does this happen? Mostly because of positioning. You don't run straight for a defensive position if your ally is too far to help you, and if it also draws the line ever closer to 2 enemies when you are generally supposed to fight 1 in a 2v2. Also, taking note of the video length, the real battle took about 5 minutes and 50 seconds. I put as much footage as possible. It was not heavily edited, and I think this is one of the fastest battles I've ever had in any Total War game in terms of 2v2s. So looking at Blanca's fight, he dedicated 1/3 of his army to help with me in the middle, just to annihilate Maroon as fast as possible. And he also had 2/3 of his army to occupy Black. You can see a bow monk of Blanca's being killed now. When you think of that, it might seem bad, but that's 1 unit to hold an entire army, which gives you a lot of time. In this case, 3 minutes to kill 1 guy altogether. Here is another example of some sort of sacrifice, which holds a lot of good units intact. That's 1 Great Guard against 2 Great Guards, and cavalry fights generally take very long, especially with the high-end ones. So he can hold 2 Great Guard units out as fast as possible while we handle the main. Now as I move my cavalry to the rear, out pops a hidden katana unit to which I'll charge head on, similar to earlier on in the fight. So at this point both armies are then joined. This is a combined arms melee attack with both mine and Blanca's armies onto Black. His cavalry is highly neutralized. He has 2 Great Guards, Black, and they're both being held up. There were 2 other cavalry units on the left which Blanca's pushed through a spear and then started assaulting the main of Black. Now with my cavalry in the rear, I can run through gaps and further assault. So how has Black reacted to the demise of his ally? He has then formed a box. He has a wall of spears surrounding his army. Although they didn't hold all the areas, I simply ran through a gap. It's going to pull the rest of his wall inside. It's kind of similar to the previous video I did. As the spears move in, I then charge them all over again. So I think Blanca's has stand and fight now with this melee army. There's not much else Black can do. He's just outnumbered in every case. So in this fight, it's mostly been holding the critical units back and then assaulting the weaker units. So both armies did have great guards, two each, and they were both held and either delayed or just held and then shot, which are both very good counters against such good units. So this video in the end should show how important it is to support your allies and take positions as needed, not just take a position, sit there and smile. But apart from that positional problem, they did a lot of right things, and they were both higher levels than us at the time. I think they were both 10. But hopefully I did explain thoroughly enough the battle. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Remember to click that thumb thingy. And I do plan in the future to do a let's play of something. I'm leaning towards Empire with Darth mod or Shogun, not too sure yet. GG, see ya.